Hello guys, this is Artun and you're watching Art and Wheels. I know it's been a while and there has been some changes, some obvious ones. So let's get into it. Okay, so it's been a couple of months since I've switched to the Hero Xpulse 204 valve version, which I'm happy about it. And if you would like to know my thoughts on it, just let me know in the comments below so that I can maybe make a video about it. But today I will be talking to you guys about the accessories and the upgrades that I've made for the Xpulse 4 valve version. Now, to start with, the windscreen that I've been using on my previous bike, so I have the same one here as well, which I was happy about it, and I think it gives the bike a nice look. And the second thing are the brake and the clutch levers that I've been using on my previous one. I'm also using on this one as well, just to make sure I'm using adjustable clutch levers, but I'm not actually adjusting them. So they're actually fixed because I don't find it safe to have them adjustable, just to make sure that they don't switch while I'm riding, which could be quite a bit of a danger. This is one of the most important things. I've made an upgrade with one of the local shops here in Turkey. So he basically added another bar in the middle of the bike where the chassis meets the protection guard. I'm using the front crash guard bags. I've actually added another metal part on the crash guard, the original one, so that can hold two front crash guard bags. And the other one is the tank bag. This is an 8-liter waterproof bag, and it's been waterproof, to be honest. So it has like this front lid, the top lid, and also a zipped sleeve as well, so it can protect the items that you have inside them. And what else I have these are like off-road foot pegs, so that when you're riding off-road you don't have that bit on top, so it can hold your boots a lot better. It has nails on them. I mean, it could be dangerous if you find yourself in an accident and have your foot underneath it, but still it prevents you from having accidents as well, because holding onto your bike could be vital at most points. One more item is my clutch kicker. So it's actually bendable. It basically folds in. Tail rack. This is a little bit different than what I had before. It's actually more narrow, and I think it's lighter. On my previous bike I had something like this, and on top I had another metal tail rack so that I could tie my soft cases on my tail rack. But this time I only have a smaller one made by a Turkish guy called Kadir. He has his own brand called Moto Tuning Garage. He makes accessories for Hero Xpulse 200 users here in Turkey. I'm not actually sure if they're actually shippable, but just make sure to contact him if you have any questions about the accessories that he is making. I'll link him down below. On my previous Hero Xpulse 202 valve version, the Grasshopper, I did have a whole different tail rack system that covers the exhaust of the bike, and I did have like another cage on the left side so that I would be able to carry some stuff on it, like my tripod, the jerry cans, all sorts of stuff. But it had one downside, and it made the bike quite heavy. So this time I just decided to go with a soft case system so that I can keep it on my bike like I was able to keep my tail rack on my previous one. And also, if I'm doing off-roading, I could take it off and make my bike a lot lighter. Now this is like a system that I'm also able to use it in the city, like for commuting, and also probably on my long rides as well. It's quite flexible actually. You can basically carry nothing on it and you won't bat an eye or anything. It won't get any attention, so it's not like that much of a big bag. But you are actually able to carry a lot bigger items. Like it has this waterproof bags that you can just stick on inside these outer cases, which are protective against friction and also damage. And I'm just working around my way to know better on how I can actually use this bag on my daily routine. And it has become something that I'm not actually taking off and on that often. So it means it's a lot lighter than the metal rack system that I had before, and it's flexible. I mean, I can just and put it on the side and make my bike a lot lighter. As I said before, I was carrying my tripod on the tail rack system on the right side actually. Now I can just carry my tripod in this bag and well, that's it. I don't have to make my bike heavier while I'm trying to carry my tripod, so it didn't make that much sense. So that's why I skipped the metal bits. This is a 200cc bike, so you don't want to make it too much heavy. It is already heavy on the front side. I do have the extra metal for the crush guard. It is, I think, quite vital because on the crashes, when you drop the bike, it tends to bend over time. So that's why I've added something extra on the front so it can be supported from 3 angles and not only 2 on the sides. What else? I do have my phone mount again, and I did used to have cable extension so that I can wrap it all around my bike and have like a USB output right beneath my phone holder, but this time I just skipped it. I'm already using my power bank for my charging. Even though it is an updated bike, the electronics, I think it's still the same, and you don't have that fast charging USB on the bike. So, I mean, it didn't make that much sense. So I'm just sticking with my USB power bank, which does have fast charging. So there's something that I'm always doing, but not actually talking about it that much, is actually the front mud guard. Just lifting it up just slightly by sticking some extra washers underneath the bolts so that I can make the front mud guard a little bit higher so it doesn't look so down. So yeah, I think it's something that makes your bike look a little bit more aggressive in a good way. So what else? I also have my GPS navigation unit, which is Waterpfoorf. It's a Chinese brand. It's not the best, but it is quite good. If I don't have any phone coverage, I can just look it up from the GPS and it helps a lot. It did help a lot in the past, so I'm guessing it's gonna help a lot in the future as well. That I do have is the pressure screen that I have in front, so I'm constantly checking if my tire pressures are wrong or if they're correct. And the rally kit that I had on my previous bike, I have it on this one as well. I just couldn't go back to this time. I'm using a 5cm risers on my previous one. I was using a 3.5cm one, so it was a little bit lower, but you can just stick a 3.5cm handlebar riser on the bike without having any cable issues. But on this one, I did have to ask for the service to rearrange the cables so that they wouldn't stretch too much. I'm quite happy with the bike, and yeah, just let me know if you are interested in what I think about the comparison between the 2-valve and the 4-valve version. I couldn't be happier with the same system that I already had and with the expectations that you have on the 2-valve version on the Hero Xpulse 200. This one really increases your expectations. Actually, I mean, it goes a little bit over them. I was thinking, I wasn't actually believing in there would be so much difference, but there is compared to, I mean, it's basically the same bike. There are just a couple of things that have been changed, but it makes quite a difference. Anyways, these are all the accessories that I'm using on my bike. Oh, the mirror, yeah, this one. This one is, I do receive some questions about these mirrors, which are basically cheap Chinese mirrors that can bend all the way inside. I mean, they're practical when you're doing long cruises, when you're on a highway. If you're doing over 100, for example, you do get a lot of shakiness. In terms of view angle, it's better than the stock, but they do become quite a little bit shaky when you're doing over 100 kilometers per hour, but they're cool looking and they're practical. If I'm doing off-road and if I don't need them, I can just bend them inside instead of taking them off. So yeah, I mean, I could recommend them, but don't get your expectations too high about them. So yeah, that was it. If you have any questions, just let me know and I will be more than happy to answer them. And yeah, have a good one. Safe rides.